Hello, true duelists. My name's Craig Fee, and as always, welcome to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Update. Yes, duelists, welcome to August, a rather slow month for the game, all things considered, although when you look at the format, that's probably for the best. There are no actual sets dropping this month. Instead, the only thing new you can get your hands on is a stainless steel copy of Dark Magician Girl that's being released. Yet another stainless steel card like the God cards before it, only this one doesn't look like the fake cards I saw in the playground days of Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't care that it's a direct riff off the manga art. The manga art was ripped by the fake-ass cards I saw as a child. Still, this one isn't at least outrageously outpriced unlike previous stainless steel cards Konami has offered us, going for a cool $149.99 USD. You can decide as to whether or not that's actually worth it for this, lone Dark Magician Girl, but the Platinum Dark Magician was $1,300 by comparison, so if nothing else, this looks reasonable now. And this is the point where you can choose to comment that the Platinum Dark Magician was platinum and therefore premium and worth it, and totally justifying the cost that most boomers pay for their mortgage to buy a stainless steel fucking card. I wonder why it didn't sell so well. We'll never fucking know. And of course, this month there's also an upcoming YCS. YCS TBA, aka YCS
Sacramento,
will take place on the weekend of August 17th and 18th, which may or may not be affected by the announced August ban list. If the World Championship qualifiers were anything to go by, the community is desperately wanting that list as soon as possible, and definitely before a YCS, but we don't know exactly what it is late August means. The weekend of the 17th and 18th could be late mid-August or early late August, depending on how it is you choose to view it. So will we get it before that YCS? We'll just have to wait for Konami to communicate that, because it happens so much. We can totally reliably expect it. Either way, as soon as we find out, we can look forward to seeing just how much people hate that event when it approaches, depending on whether or not we get a ban list. Until then, it's the September and Worlds coming up afterwards, and so before we get to September, we got to wrap up the last of World Championship qualifiers with our look at the EU WCQ. Because yeah, the EU WCQ took place last weekend, and on God, I have fuck all to say about it, okay? I'm being straight up here. I don't care or know particularly all that much, okay? You already fucking know. You already know what this format is like. You know what this event was like. I don't need to talk about it in some detail. It's the same fucking format. It's been a week, and look, this is the top 64 from the NAWCQ, and now it's the top 64 from the EUWCQ. It's marginally different. Do we want to pretend we care all that much? Wow, there's a few more Snake Eye and a few less Tenpai and a few less Yubel. Are you interested? Are you blown away by the statistics that people played fucking Snake Eye in the fucking Snake Eye Fiendsmith format? I know, it's crazy. Shut up, dude. Let's take an in-depth look at the fucking fantastic use of Engraver for the 98th time. I've got nothing to say, okay? If you don't want to play Fiendsmith, I guess you can just play the goddamn deck that doesn't let the opponent interact with you, because the field spell for Tenpai is stupid like that. But hey, Tenpai won the event, so it is different. This is the creativity that Konami was referencing when they said we're going to wait to see how info impacts the format. They just wanted to see Tenpai do something other than, bubble in top 16 at a premier event or whatever the fuck it's done up to this point. And to be clear, congratulations go to Esteban Rey for winning the entire event. That's a huge accomplishment, as well as the 6 other qualifiers who qualified to go to the Worlds. This format sucks, but that doesn't mean the players do, and a huge congratulations to them. If you've been following Gabriel Nets, you're probably like, hell yeah, dude, you love to see the kid win after getting so close so many times in the past, at least in terms of qualifying for Worlds. And really, that's what you get to do in a format like this. You get to find your favorite pro duelist or content creator, celebrate them doing well or well enough, depending on how bad your content player is regarded to be, and then fucking call it a day. Ignore everything else. Joshua Schmidt didn't have to try because he's already gotten into Worlds for Master Duel, so watch him play Runic I can end it there. Watch him play Runic. He can substitute whatever engine. That's what the fucking guy's gonna do, okay? You can watch him violate the fucking battle phase and disrespect the sanctity of this game with that bullshit. But I also play Runic as well, so I can't actually hate him. I don't know, fucking Vlad played Memento, okay? You know what I mean? You can go watch the deck profile on Lithium's channel and talk about how he's bad because he played Fiendsmith, as if playing the best generic engine makes him a worse duelist because casual elitists need to feel unique. I don't fucking know. You want my take on the EU WCQ after it's all said and done? It's just back to the old deck name creativity and the absolute blatant lack thereof that exists in this community. Fiendsmith Snake Eye? God, the format's boring. That doesn't mean the deck names have to be, okay? Why don't we call it something more appropriate? Why don't we just call it fucking Cancer? Like it's like it is, okay? Why don't we call it the long-suffering death? Because that's what it feels like every time we watch these streams or play these duels, or so seems to be the sentiment amongst people, broadly speaking. I support it, and I bet you do too. So why don't we just start calling it that? The long-suffering death. Great fucking format, Konami. Keep it up. Or maybe you got a better name for it, in which case I'm all ears. Enlighten me. I'm open to communication, just fucking not open to talking much more about this goddamn bullshit. As it stands, if you're going to Worlds or you're going to YCS
Sacramento,
you can enjoy the shit show, and the rest of us are all going to do things like watch every pro player talk about how the game sucks kind of right now and how they're going to leave to go play One Piece or Lorcana, or you can just do what all the cool kids are doing and go, wow, that Mimaghoul deck looks pretty cool, and then just fucking plug our ears and ignore it all entirely. That's my fucking game plan, goddamn. In some neat other news, after only approximately 10 years of the OCG being a sensible, wing of Konami and adapting to the modern online landscapes and using platforms such as Twitter to slow roll announce cards for an upcoming product, someone, it seems that Konami's TCG department was struck by a good idea because they've started to do the thing the OCG has been doing since forever. That's right, to promote the upcoming second in a row celebration of the 25th anniversary, because the fucking 25th anniversary took 7 years apparently. Konami is giving us information bit by bit. And while at first I'd assumed that would just be them slow rolling the pictures that they're placing on the tin, that is the identical model tin from last year, but it's the new thing. It's, whoa, Mom, they're putting blue eyes on this tin. Let me pre-order 97 cases for those blue eyes cards, Mom. I'm a fucking gamer, or whatever it is they expect us to all be doing. They're also revealing the cards that are going to be in it. Yeah, that's right. Every Tuesday and Thursday, they're revealing a high-demand prismatic secret rare that will be in the Dueling Mirrors tins. Take, for example, on Tuesday, they revealed Quem, which is a nice reprint for people wanting to play Branded, or that one Joshua Schmidt Ritual? Bestial Runic. Close, yeah, fucking totally. From that YCS that happened a year ago. Remember that? Remember European YCSs? We got 2 this year. That's fucking... Take it and run. Fucking, I don't know. It's between the confirmed ban list that's coming in August and this, adaptation of a thing that should have been standard as of like 2011. It's interesting to see Konami being dragged kicking and screaming into the present day and giving us what should be considered the bare minimum in regards to communication. So that's pretty cool. Now, if they could just address the laundry list of other real problems this game has at the same time, that would be great. If people that are saying this game is dying and is going to die could not be right, I'd like that tweet. I'd upvote that Reddit post. Sick. And of course, there was that Master Duel official reference to Douglas Zeef, that is the release of the Masters Saga Selection Pack, which brings some of the classic nostalgia support for DM decks that we've gotten over the years to Master Duel. Things like Spell Card Monster Reborn, or a copy of Dragon Master Magia that you actually would be able to play in the game you acquired it in, because you sure as shit can't acquire it in the TCG without the God skill luck or a blatant disregard for the value of your dollar. Either way, the big thing here is that it's being released at the same time as Heavy Storm into Master Duel. Yeah, they brought back Heavy Storm into the game and are releasing it at 1, which is neat to see. As a fan of the TCG and someone who mainly plays the TCG, you gotta pay attention to it, if only because all 3 ban lists are kind of starting to bleed into each other a little bit in varying amounts. So the release of Heavy could indicate that we could expect it at some point in the future, maybe probably not on this next list, but in the future. I don't know that it matters all that much, truth be told. I guess Max Power Unchained is in Master Duel. We already have Duster, we got Lightning Storm, and there are niche uses for Heavy Storm. Don't get me wrong, it's not completely useless, it's just not really a huge deal in the context of the way they're designing fucking cards lately. Oh, and they put Snatch Steal at 3, which is crazy because that's the first format ever to have it at 3 again since like 2002 or something in any of the regions, so that's cool. But not nearly as cool as, of course, Konami letting Snake Eye be so goddamn good in all these regions for all this time. Oh, sorry, did I mean cool? I didn't mean cool. I didn't even mean to say Snake Eye. I meant to say the long-suffering death, which is what it is. And that's all I've really got to say. Nothing meaningful, nothing impactful, but everything of quality or something like that. My cat has been staring at me for quite some time. And let me tell you, she hasn't been staring at me at all. She's been staring at the LIFD magnetic display, the sponsor of today's episode, and of course, the true Duelist approved way to showcase all your favorite cards. Promo code YGOSTRATS15 for 15% off, or click the link in the description to get yourself a little tri-set to showcase any of your favorite cards for any of your favorite TCGs. Or don't. I don't fucking care. I'd appreciate it, but you gotta live your life and do your own thing. So go ahead and do that. Until then, I've been your host, Craig Fee. Yep, that's me. Stay tuned for next week when you get the most real and authentic update you've ever seen. And until then, hit subscribe and press your smoking Italian wife. And best of all, become a true duelist. And if you don't do it, you're fucking cringe.
But it seems like it just resolves, and we're just going to continue on with this
long-suffering death.